Time now for the Fox Report with the actor-turned-activist Laurence Fox and Corbynite Labour MP Diane Abbott's political career tonight hangs in the balance after she was suspended by her own party for making anti-Semitic comments to The Observer. In the incendiary letter, Abbott made the offensive claim that Irish, Jewish and traveller communities are not all of their lives subjected to racism in the same way people of colour are, before diminishing the prejudice suffered by these groups by comparing it, wait for it, to being ginger. She continued in pre-civil rights America, Irish people, Jewish people and travellers were not required to sit at the back of the bus. She seemed to forget that Jewish people and travellers were massacred in their millions during the Holocaust just 80 years ago, very often transported to death camps in the back of trains. The disgraced MP was quick to issue an apology as she blamed errors that arose in an initial draft of her letter. But the MSM's hypocritical Liberal lovies immediately rushed to Abbott's defence, with ITV's Robert Peston tweeting that Diane Abbott has suffered much racist abuse in her life. It's important to accept her apology in a spirit of kindness and understanding. Now, Laurence Fox, I'd be more than happy to listen to Peston on this if he would show the same sort of forgiveness when a white person makes the same sort of mistake. But you know, that isn't what happens, Laurence.
It's really sad, Dan, because the thing is, by saying that the only people that can't be racist are black people, you're basically being racist to black people. The whole thing is really strange. It's like either everyone can be racist to everybody or no one can be racist to anybody. But I think what's happened here with Diane Abbott is, you know, it doesn't take much reading or understanding to realise that you know, crimes and mass genocides against Jewish people have taken place throughout history. And, you know, also she was completely wrong about, obviously the Jewish question, but she's really wrong about white people being taken as slaves themselves, which they have done. And I think this identitarian movement is really wrong because, you know, there's slavery going on. There's 30 million slaves alive today. And what's Diane Abbott going to do about that? You know, other than put two wrong shoes on.
Oh, Laurence, you do make me giggle. You make me giggle. Now, look, the UK's migrant madness has provided another shocking case study. This is the Mail on Sunday. Laurence revealed that, I couldn't believe this actually, a dangerous former ISIS fighter smuggled himself in here by posing as a 17-year-old boy. That's what we've been warning they've been doing for years, despite the fact he's a 42-year-old man. He's an Iraqi national, Laurence. He's now staying at a 3-star hotel at our expense while he appeals the decision to deport him, brazenly claiming he's suffering from depression that can only be treated by the NHS and that deporting him to Iraq would breach his human rights. Laurence, come on. Come on. When are we going to start protecting ourselves?
How dare you misage him? How dare you?
Does he identify as a 17-year-old?
What I want to know is who was the border person that was like, yeah, you're 17. It's like Helen Keller? Was that the border person? It's like, yeah, it feels like a 17-year-old. Look, this whole migrant thing is covering up a massive problem we have in this country, which is demography. We are not breeding. But we've managed to scare all our children into chopping their willies and girls' bits off to be an androgynous, non-fertile population. So no wonder we need a load of immigrants to come in and prop up our economy. But yeah, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, until we leave the EHCR, until we are a Conservative government, I've got a sneaking suspicion, I was told actually, but today, by some members of the security services outside Parliament, that they've been told that there are no extra shifts after May the 4th, right? So there's no post 10 p.m. shifts after May the 4th. So it looks like either Rishi Sunak's going to prorogue Parliament and call a snap general election, or you know they're trying to bring this thing through very, very quickly, and it's not going to happen. We need to go. We need to leave the EHCR, get out of it as soon as possible, and it's not going to happen under the government.
No, that is the answer, though. I think you're right. Now, look, in the latest Go Woke, Go Broke files, right, the beer brand, God, I mucked that up, didn't I? Good one, Dad. Bud Light has been fighting for its commercial life. This is obviously over this Dylan Mulvaney promotion. But the vice president of marketing, so this was the woman responsible, she's called Alyssa Heineschied, has actually taken a leave of absence. Meanwhile, back here, British companies don't seem to have learned any lessons, Laurence, as the supermarket chain Waitrose was caught lecturing its well-heeled shoppers on the climate emergency this weekend with signage encouraging customers to reduce their carbon footprint by adding plant-based alternatives to their diet. So, Laurence, as these big brands continue to push virtue signalling wokery onto their customers, should Waitrose really have learned what happened from Bud Light? And can't customers just pull these signs down and say we're going to eat whatever the hell we choose to eat?
Yeah, but they can't get their ESG points, can they? So they're incapable of. So in order to get funding, they have to be environmental, social, and have good governance. And these are things. I go into Waitrose. I now don't shop at Waitrose or Sainsbury's because then you're a racist if you don't. I can't remember whether you're racist or not racist if you shop at Sainsbury's. But the dividers where you get your shop in Waitrose has pride flags on it, and it's like, why is the supermarket telling me what I can and can't buy, and why are you asking me to replace plants with meat? It's like ridiculous. It's just, it doesn't make economic commercial sense. So this woman who's been fired or been moved on, the point is she's gone woke school, woke university, woke life, and she's not had any real experience of what it's like to be alive. So no wonder that she's just butted up against reality, which is like you're trying to sell beer to a bunch of, rednecks in America, and you're going to tell them they're frat kids to do it. It's absolutely insanity. But the point is, I think this is actually a much deeper conspiracy, which is that BlackRock and Vanguard and these big companies are insisting on ESG points, and they're trying to stifle the market so that they can conquer it. And if we don't just turn around and do what very good people on social media have done, which is boycott Budweiser and these stupid brands like Nike, for promoting transgenderism, it's just ridiculous. Just get rid of it, move on. But actually, we're never going to win. We're not going to win the battle, Dan, because the battle is ESG, and the battle has already been won.
No, indeed, I couldn't agree more. But well done to Miss Heineschied, because she leaves Bud having wiped $6 billion off the company's parent within one weekend. So that will be her legacy. Maybe she should go and get a job at Nike.
Dan, look at the Budweiser share price. Look at the Anheuser-Busch share price. Look at it. It's back up.
Is it?
Just where it was. Yeah, right where it was. So it's terrifying. Someone somewhere is going...
Disappointing. Very disappointing, Laurence Fox. Great stuff this week. And Laurence, of course, back here 7 o'clock Friday night on GB News. Thank you, Laurence. But coming up...